you heard about the Nkosazana daughter saga.
No?
So Nkosazana daughter suing Podcast and Chill.
Oh, I didn't know.
For 13 million rand.
13 million?
Yeah. So because MacG alleged that, she was lying about the father of a child between Sir Trill and Master KG. She then said, this is very unfair that he would say this on such a big platform. There are families involved. Our family members are now distraught by this, and asked him to retract. Instead of retracting, he said, if I'm lying, she can sue me. And so now she's suing him to prove that he's lying, right? So to speak. And we don't have discovery. So he's not going to be able to plead with the court and say, hey, please do a DNA test to verify my allegation. And using allegedly does not absolve you of intent, right? And for me, it's very easy to empathize with a judge that would see that as a very egregious thing, because, other than, and it's sad to use this example, but other than being falsely accused of a crime like rape, right? The only other thing that is just as heinous, like as a false accusation, is that you are committing paternity fraud. So you're allowing another man to raise someone else's child, as a woman. Your entire dignity. Men will disrespect you because of that. Women will disrespect you because of that. All of that. So I understand why, if what MacG is saying is a lie directed at her, she would be very angry and demanding a ridiculous amount in compensation. And all I want to say from my side, and my personal opinion, is that you must please settle this quickly. Retract, apologize, settle this quickly. Because having been in the dock myself, having heard the judge say, hey, we're taking this much money from you, we're declaring that you're going to pay this person's legal fees. And that was like a demand of 500,000, which ended up, the judge reduced it because of my very strong legal team to 200,000.
That was with Shimza, right?
Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
So you're paying Shimza every month?
No.
Okay.
My lawyers are working on whatever we settle there.
Okay.
Yeah, but we had entered into a settlement agreement. But yeah, but that was after the ruling. Had I entered into a settlement agreement, you know what I mean, with Shimza before the ruling, maybe I could have said, yeah, 900,000, Donham. I'll post, I'll say sorry, I'll retract everything, whatever. Whether or not I believe what I was saying is true, I could not come to court with evidence that he'd been convicted of something like this. And because I didn't have that, just mere evidence in the public opinion, the fact that something happened on Checkpoint, because the whole entire thing is stemmed from a Checkpoint episode I was watching about Mamoloko Kubai's cookout at his place in Tembisa, right? Because of that, and even though the Public Services Commission was investigating the whole entire thing, so he was being investigated at the time, the judge still said, because he hasn't got a conviction against him, what you're saying is harmful, is hurtful, is defamatory, and this is the ruling. So I'm speaking from experience, as someone who's taken the L before.
And you're giving MacG a noble advice.
Business saving advice. Phala, let's say the judge says, okay, 10 meter ge. Imhlulile 20. Ulikao. Imhlulile. Business liquidated. Nkosazana daughter's lawsuit could cause Podcast and Chill to be liquidated. Married traditionally through lobola. That's community of property. Whatever businesses your wife owns, if it's all wrapped in and you guys own these things together, can be wrapped up in this. Where do we sit as a South African podcasting industry without MacG? Where do we sit? So it's not even about saving himself. It's about saving all of us. And also setting an example to say, this is a line too far. You know what I mean? Once you've crossed this line, you know what I mean? You are now giving your business up to a judge to decide its future. So that is something that, I feel like as my final parting shot, especially to the viewers, we want to support all these platforms in their growth, all the way to the top. You know what I mean? And want them to have freedom of speech as well, to be able to say anything and everything that they feel is necessary to be said. But when it becomes defamatory and it's like consistent, and you can see that this is intentional to defame someone, it could be costly for your business, and civil actions could be pursued. Personally, I don't believe in suing people for money. I feel like if they've defamed me, I can open a case of crimen injuria, and that can be done at a police station. I can get a protection order. I was granted a protection order against defamation and extortion just a couple of weeks ago, and while we're sitting watching this right now, or while people are sitting watching this, I'll be in court for that protection orders court date on Monday, or today for those who are watching right now. So I feel like we don't want to end this year by losing one of our biggest, podcasting figures as a business. So yeah.
Very much off from NOTA, noting that about 2 weeks ago or so, after your saga hit the headlines, some of the things that Saul and MacG said about you, I see your comments about what is happening with Nkosazana daughter and podcast Central as mature from you.
No, thank you.
And big up to that.
No, thank you. Yeah, I mean, look, we have to be able to hold each other to account. There's a lot of temptation to just go into easy and cheap insults when we feel the temptation to, but it's unnecessary. We're building here. And as you can see, we're up against a lot. We've already lost Likau. We don't need any more inspirational Black entrepreneurs falling by the wayside, having their businesses not getting business rescue like other people's businesses are. You know what I mean? Just not having funding, not being capitalized, being seen as high risk. Because if they're able to take down MacGyver, when you go with your proposal, but hey, MacGyver boni lebam swing at 13 million. Podcast, Phala. We're not going to give you business. So see, in Abama podcast, we need to tread carefully, but also at the same time, we mustn't censor ourselves unnecessarily. We need to know when is the right time to stand our ground, stand on business, and when it's the right time to, apologize. Penwell still doesn't agree that you should have apologized at the point that you did, but you set a very good example.
I'm a businessman.
And umdala
I don't hustle backwards.
Yeah.
I don't want Mr. Trevor Manuel as my enemy.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you don't want that enemy.